Hi, what's up YouTube? This is Auburn Designs with my first YouTube tutorial um, and video actually, my first upload. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some professional looking 3D text in Cinema 4D using global illumination and some of the effects in render settings such as ambient occlusion and global illumination is mainly what's going to make this picture look its best. So let's get started up. Open up Cinema 4D. We're going to come up to MoGraph, MoText, and just going to rename your text down here in the Object tab. Um, Rename it to whatever you want. Name mine to Auburn, just like that. I'm going to align this into the middle, which I'm still in the Object tab of the properties, and I'm going to change my font to real fast. And you can choose whatever font you'd like. I'm going to choose a font that I use a lot called XI-Rod. Um, Select whatever text you'd like. We're going to resize this down by coming down here to the coordinates, not the coordinates, the object tab, and change the height to about, a decent size unless the font didn't really change your size that much. My font really boosted up the size of my font, and I'm going to change it down to about 150. Looks like a decent size. So now we're gonna jump into we're gonna select our text. We're gonna come over to the caps tab, and we're gonna change both of these, the start and end, to a fillet cap. Gives it a really nice effect, especially when you're trying to make professional images in Cinema 4D or Photoshop. The most one of the most important things when you're making professional images is to stay simple. For the start, change the steps to 5 and the radius to 2 or 3. It's kind of at your own opinion, and the same thing for the end. 5 and 2. Now that we have this, it's pretty boring. Nothing really exciting going on here. So what we can do is we can add some color into this. We're going to come down here to the Materials tab, double click, and that will add a new material for you. Double click the material to open up the properties of it, and for color you can choose whatever color you'd like. I'm going to choose a green. I'm going to go for a green. Hit OK. Come down to the reflection, check the reflection, change the brightness down to about 30, change the texture to Fresnel, right there, and change that down to about 30%, and then change the blurriness to 5%, and that'll give it a nice reflection. You can exit out of that, and if you